Yeah, it's your boy LT, and I'm back with another react. And I hope everybody doing good today. I hope everybody feeling good today, and I hope everybody is taking care of themselves, taking care of your health. I'm cool. Mood ain't all the way there, but it is what it is. So we gonna get through it. Hopefully my mood changed watching this video. Hopefully this video don't make it too bad, cause it says corrupt cop causes a massive lawsuit. That don't sound too bad, but it just depends on the extent this cop took it for him to get sued. Did he physically harm this person, or was it just him not knowing his laws and violated some stuff? So I don't know, but we're gonna get into this video. I appreciate everybody that's been subbing up. Continue to sub me up. We're gonna get there. I promise you. We're gonna get there. But let's get to this video.
$5 a month. And
right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers taser use, reasonable suspicion, and disorderly conduct, and is brought to us by Local 3 News' channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. On April 13th, 2018, Officer Cody Thomas of the Chattanooga Police Department responded to a 911 call claiming that a man named Polo, who was wearing green and black, had threatened a citizen with a gun in Chattanooga, Tennessee. While investigating the call, Officer Thomas observed local resident Nate Carter checking the mailbox in front of his home while wearing a purple shirt. The interaction that followed was captured on Officer Thomas's body camera.
You Polo? Now what's your name? What's going on? I don't know. They called you. I ain't called you. Who are we calling about? Calling about me, buddy. Calling about you? Calling about me. Open your ears and your mouth. Hey, how about you watch your mouth for your still in the back of my car?
Hold on.
For about you? Calling about me. Open your ears and your mouth. Hey, how about you watch your mouth for your still in the back of my car?
Nah, word. Nah, listen, I ain't gonna lie. I feel where that cop coming from. That wasn't the professionalism in him. First it was because he was just ignoring him. But then dude kept just talking smart. Close your mouth and open your ears and close your mouth. And the cop became a person. Be quiet, watch your mouth. What do you say? Watch your mouth before you get thrown in the back of my car. He became a person. You gotta understand, these cops are people. They got feelings and they got tempers as well. They got short tempers. Some of them take more than others, but you gotta understand, they are normal. They're humans. So when you just trying to pull up and just figure out who called, and then you just constantly getting smart the whole time, raising suspicions for one, and for two, you got a problem and you gonna cause a problem. So
My private property not bothering you. You go here talking about who am I, Polo? And I told you no.
Hey, listen.
I gotta listen to you, man. Go on.
No, get your ass over here. You're not part of this. Come here. Come here, right now. Come here.
You can't go for what?
I'll shoot your dog.
Shoot my dog, boy. You can't come in my yard.
Get over here now.
No, get out of my yard.
Get over here right now.
oh,
Taser deployed.
hold on.
Get over here now.
Okay. The cop is tripping now. I know you're a person, my boy, but you gotta relax. You went a little too far. You just threatened to shoot his dog, and then you just busted the taser on him. That's crazy.
Get over here right now. Taser deployed. Start me at 20.
That dog gonna bite him.
welcome, my friends.
Pop a bottle because this is a celebration.
After Officer Thomas attempts to detain Mr. Carter with a verbal command, Mr. Carter refuses to comply and begins to walk back towards his home, and Officer Thomas tases him in the back. The Chattanooga Police Department's use of force policy repeatedly requires officers to use only the minimum level of force that is reasonably necessary to achieve certain lawful objectives, such as conducting lawful public safety activities, protecting persons and property, overcoming physical resistance, effecting arrests, maintaining control of an arrested person, preserving the peace, preventing the commission of an offense, and preventing serious physical injury or death. In describing the amount of force that
Yeah.
officers are authorized to
too
use
far.
against citizens, the policy states that, quote, under no circumstances shall the force used be greater than necessary to achieve lawful objectives. And, now quoting again, officers must always use the minimum amount of force necessary to accomplish these objectives. The policy also explains that, quote, whenever possible, police officers shall employ a progression of force, commonly referred to as the use of force continuum. The continuum is based on the concept of increasing the police officer's level of control in response to the level of resistance of the suspect or violator. If a suspect or violator increases his level of resistance or threat to the officer is justified in increasing his level of control. When determining the amount of force that is appropriate to use in a particular situation, the policy notes that officers should consider the nature of the offense, the behavior of the subject against whom force is to be used, physical size and conditioning, the feasibility or availability of alternative actions, location, and the availability of additional officers. The policy also includes a chart that lists the type of force that's appropriate for various levels of resistance. In this situation, Mr. Carter's actions would likely be considered quote-unquote passive resistance, which the policy defines as, quote, physical actions that do not attempt to prevent officers' attempt of control, but are not in compliance with an officer's orders or actions. The chart lists the corresponding officer response for passive resistance as quote-unquote soft, empty hand control, which the policy defines as a use of force without the aid of any equipment or weapons that includes, now quoting, empty hand escort controls, pressure points, and come-alongs that have a minimal chance of inflicting injury. The use of a taser, also known as a conducted electrical weapon, or CEW, is not permitted unless the subject is engaged in quote-unquote defensive resistance, which the policy defines as, quote, physical actions which attempt to prevent officers' control, which are non-threatening in nature. Further, the policy specifically limits the use of CEWs to situations where verbal commands have failed to bring about the subject's compliance, the subject has exhibited so-called defensive resistance, and probable cause was established on the subject before they evaded or resisted the officer. Now, it should be noted that the version of the use of force policy that's publicly available was not issued until June of 2020, about 2 years after this encounter occurred. However, assuming that a similar policy was in place at the time of this interaction, it is highly likely that Officer Thomas's decision to tase Mr. Carter was a violation of the Chattanooga PD's use of force policy, as Officer Thomas did not have probable cause to arrest Mr. Carter at the time he approached him, and Mr. Carter did not appear to engage in defensive resistance.
Hey, show me your hands! Clear the air, start me some cars. Suspect just went back in the house. Get your ass out here, show me your hands! Get your ass out here now!
So basically, this cop done everything wrong. See, like, he was cool at first when he said what he said back to him, like, watch your mouth, da-da-da, cool. But after that, he started following him, tried to tase him, now got the gun out on him. Hey, the cop violated everything. Literally violated everything. That's crazy.
Get your ass over here now, or I'm gonna shoot you
Shit.
now! Get your ass over here now!
Did he let that dog
Out here
go?
now! Get your ass over here now, or I'm gonna shoot you now! Get your ass over here now! Put your hands up! What are you doing me with your hands up? Get your ass over here now! Show me here!
That dog gonna bite him if he gets loose.
Suspect just went back in the house. Hold on, I'm moving my car in front of the house. I'm moving my car in front of the house.
He's doing too much.
Why should the migrant?
Have a unit go to the back of
This
the
cop
house.
is doing too
We got
much.
2 units up front. Suspect has gone back in and out of the house. Taser has been deployed. We're still working on getting him outside.
Come out.
Get your ass over here now! Get your ass over here now! He went back in. Hey, sweetie, come here. Come here. It's okay. Y'all come here. Hey, y'all come here. Everything's okay.
No, it's not.
You stay right there. Hey, you come over there. You go over there. Come here. Come here now. Come here now. Get away from the dog.
I'm taking my mail dog. Man, what you sleeping on the ground for? This is necessary. Motherfucker! Are you serious? I took my mail. Y'all get my kids on here. Why y'all doing that? Cause I checked my
cares? Get in the car. Who cares? Get in the car. Man, for real. For real.
See it, yeah, and he said for real, get in the car. See, this is bull crap, yeah. I'm glad they sued him. $3 million, and yeah, L for that department. Good shit for my boy, because he wasn't in no wrong. I mean, like, it was freedom of speech, bro. Like, you could talk like that realistically. It's up to the cops to be professional about it and do their job how they supposed to do their job. And I hate that damn thumbs up thing. That is pissing me off. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, so he could have kind of watched how he was talking, but it is what it is. It's freedom of speech. They did not have to take it to this extent.
Oh, get in the car. Oh, I popped my cherry.
And then for you to say, who cares? Oh, bro, you did everything wrong. Like, everything wrong.
Taser. He did. He got popped.
And I don't even know the law that well.
And then he slammed the door and the
wasn't
bars
right.
popped off. So I don't know if it actually hit him or not. Huh? He got barbs in his back. His info and why I'm here. This guy. Yeah. Oh, I gotta talk to him. I need to calm down.
Yeah, you do need to calm down. You
You
tripping.
called, correct? Was this about him, correct?
No. It was another guy, but he ran through. He had the Glock. He was standing by that telephone pole, and he was talking about shooting up. Me and her was in there playing cards. He was talking about shooting up in her.
Because when I walked up, you said, yes, that's him.
No, I said
Yes,
no.
you did, because I walked up and I said,
Nah,
"He said,
don't.
yeah, that's why I'm here." And so when I started confronting him about going in the house, that's when all this erupted.
Because when you started going toward him to the steps, I was hollering, that's not him.
Yeah, just grab his info, thank you.
See, that's why I'm glad they got body cam. So that cop was trying to back up his reason for the BS he done, because he know he messed up, and he said, and the black man was like, I didn't say that. Like, he know what he said. Like, if he would have said that was him, I'd be like, yeah, I said that was him. But like, no, I wasn't calling for him. So why would I say that's him if I know I wasn't calling for him? You didn't let the other person that I was calling for go because you want to be all hostile and go to this man because you can't handle him saying whatever he said to you.
I pulled up here, and he was standing out in the middle of the road, and I was like, well,
He wasn't in the middle of the road. And he lied. He wasn't in the middle of the road. What is this cop talking about? Like, bro, do you not know you got a body cam on? Like, do you not understand what the body cam does? It records and it has audio as well, bro. So for you to say he was in the middle of the road, that's not accurate.
I didn't even hear what the initial call was. Somebody said they had a gun, they were threatening to shoot this guy. I said, hey, are you Polo? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Leave me alone. Like, he's calling you, shoot. He's like going like this, like, shoot. And I was like, well, I'm trying to figure out why I'm here. And he's like, he called you, not me. Now go deal with him. I asked him, like, what is your name? He made some comment. I said, what? And he said, how about you open up your ears and shut your mouth? And then so I asked him for his ID, and he was like, man, what you talking about? Leave me alone. Well, in my mind, that's the guy who has the gun. I said, how about you come over here to give me your ID? And he's like, no.
See? In my mind, that's what I'm saying. You don't get paid to think. You get paid to go to whoever made the call. You get paid to go to whoever made the call. You should have went to that guy, whether it was that guy or not. You know where this guy lived. You see it's directly across the street. So let me go talk to the person that made the call and see what happened and what's going on. And if it's that guy that I just had the little confrontation with or the words with, okay, now I'm going to go to his house. You know what I mean? So for you to just say, in my mind, this is the guy with the gun. Like, no, you'd have found out if it was the guy with the gun because the man that called was going to tell you who it was.
I'm going back in my mouth, or going back in my house. He kind of stepped towards me and started walking back in the house. So I'm thinking he's going to go do something with the gun. So I tased him right in the back. He rode it for a solid 3 seconds and then tripped up the stairs. And then he came back in the house, and so I pulled my car to where I can get behind it. So I didn't know if he was going to come back out and try to shoot. And then he came back out, but he was like still hiding behind the door. So
because you had your
he
gun
has a
out.
gun in his hand, and something bad's about to go down. That's when he kept going in and out, in and out. Y'all walked up, and his girls walked out. One's a boy. Oh, was it?
Officer Thomas summarizes his encounter with Mr. Carter, claiming that he saw Mr. Carter standing in the middle of the road and thought, and I'm quoting, "I'm guessing this guy could be it." In the landmark 1968 decision of Terry versus Ohio, where the Supreme Court first established that officers may briefly detain individuals based on so-called reasonable suspicion of criminal activity, the court explained that in evaluating the reasonableness of a particular seizure in light of the particular circumstances, quote, "It is imperative that the facts be be judged against an objective standard. Would the facts available to the officer at the moment of the seizure warrant a man of reasonable caution in the belief that the action taken was appropriate? Anything less would invite intrusions upon constitutionally guaranteed rights based on nothing more substantial than inarticulate hunches, a result this court has consistently refused to sanction. The court also noted that, now quoting again, simple good faith on the part of the arresting officer is not enough. If subjective good faith alone were the test, the protections of the Fourth Amendment would evaporate, and the people would be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects only in the discretion of the police. The Supreme Court further articulated the definition of reasonable suspicion in the 1981 case of U.S. versus Cortez, stating that, quote, "The essence of all that has been written is that the totality of the circumstances, the whole picture, must be taken into account. Based upon that whole picture, the detaining officers must have a particularized and objective basis for suspecting the particular person stopped of criminal activity." The court then identified two elements that must be present for a stop to be permissible under the Fourth Amendment: that the assessment was based upon all of the circumstances, and that the circumstances must, now quoting, "raise a suspicion that the particular individual being stopped is engaged in wrongdoing." Although the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals held in the 2015 case of U.S. versus Chambers that, quote, "a suspect's presence near the location of a reported crime can be a salient factor giving rise to reasonable suspicion," in this situation, Mr. Carter did not match the description of the suspect, who was reported as wearing a green shirt, and the victim claimed that he told Officer Thomas that Mr. Carter was not the perpetrator. As such, even if Officer Thomas had a good faith belief that Mr. Carter was the suspect, it is likely that a court would conclude that the circumstances did not provide him with the objective, reasonable suspicion necessary to detain Mr. Carter.
Exactly.
That white one, he said, the dog will bite. And I was like, I'll shoot your dog.
This is why
Mom is around though. For the kids? Alright, so you hang out with the kids. Because we had Adam count as a medical professional look at him here. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But the hospital needs to clear him before he can do anything. Talk to Van Ness about how to write it up.
I feared for my life.
The way you described it is fine, but make sure Van Ness about how to write it up.
I feared for my
Other officers say I fear for my life. Bro.
life.
The way you described it is fine, but make sure you, exactly how you described it to me, it needs to be written down.
So what are you charging him with so I can tell his wife?
Disorderly and resisting.
Okay.
And if Van Ness could help me with make up anything else.
What?
And
And then Van Ness can help me make up anything else. Bro, do you not realize that y'all have body cams? This body cam is picking up everything, bro. It is common sense. Like, use your brain. That's what I say. These cops don't get paid to think. They get paid to solve crimes. Stop thinking about it and just go ahead and take go ahead and take what you got coming. Because you know you messed up. So stop thinking about it, bro. Just go ahead, write it down, do whatever, let them decide. You know you messed up. That's why you need Van Ness to help you come up with anything else. L for you, my boy.
Help me with make up anything else. That's what I have right now is disorderly resisting.
Officer Thomas states that he will be charging Mr. Carter with disorderly and resisting, according to Section 39-17-305 of the Tennessee Code, which defines the offense of disorderly conduct. Quote, "A person commits an offense who, in a public place and with intent to cause public annoyance or alarm, engages in fighting or in violent or threatening behavior, refuses to obey an official order to disperse issued to maintain public safety in dangerous proximity to a fire, hazard, or other emergency, or creates a hazardous or physically offensive condition by any act that serves no legitimate purpose." Now, while the Supreme Court of Tennessee determined in the 2011 case of State versus Mitchell that an individual's quote-unquote loud and belligerent confrontation of officers, coupled with a challenge to an officer's authority, qualified as threatening behavior designed to annoy or alarm, that was sufficient to support a disorderly conduct conviction, for this subsection of the statute to apply, an individual must be in a public place, which Section 39-11-106 of the Tennessee Code Code defines as, quote, a place to which the public or a group of persons has access, such as highways, transportation facilities, and schools. As such, it is likely that a court would conclude Mr. Carter was not in a public place on his own front lawn. However, the disorderly conduct statute includes another subsection which states that, quote, a person also violates this section who makes unreasonable noise that prevents others from carrying on lawful activities. Now, while this subsection of the statute does not include a public place requirement, in the 2009 case of State versus Throneberry, the Court of Criminal Appeals of Tennessee determined that the fact that an individual repeatedly yelled at a police officer was insufficient to sustain a disorderly conduct conviction because there was no evidence showing that the yelling interfered with the officer's ability to conduct an investigation or any other lawful activities. As we discussed earlier in this episode, Officer Thomas likely did not have reasonable suspicion to detain Mr. Carter, and he would have been able to continue his investigation of Polo if he chose to do so. As such, it seems improbable that a court would determine that Mr. Carter could be convicted of disorderly conduct under either subsection of the statute. As for the resisting charge, under Section 39-16-602 of the Tennessee Code, quote, it is an offense for a person to intentionally prevent or obstruct anyone known to the person to be a law enforcement officer or anyone acting in a law enforcement officer's presence and at the officer's direction from effecting a stop, frisk, halt, arrest, or search by using force against the law enforcement officer or another. The statute also clarifies that, now quoting again, it is no defense to prosecution under this section that the stop, frisk, halt, arrest, or search was unlawful. And Section 39-11-106 of the Tennessee Code states that, quote, force means compulsion by the use of physical power or violence and shall be broadly construed to accomplish the purposes of this title. It is highly unlikely that a court would conclude that Mr. Carter's conduct in disregarding Officer Thomas's orders and retreating into his home would constitute a use of force under this statute, as the Tennessee Court of Criminal Appeals noted in the 2013 case of State versus Martin that the force element for a resisting charge was not met when an individual ignored several commands to stop and continued to walk away from an officer. Likewise, Mr. Carter did not appear to actively resist handcuffing in body camera footage, but if he did make any movements that could be construed as struggling against handcuffing, Section 39-11-611 of the Tennessee Code permits individuals to use force in self-defense if, now quoting, the law enforcement officer uses or attempts to use greater force than necessary to make the arrest, search, stop and frisk, or halt. Accordingly, Mr. Carter would be able to attempt to defend himself against the charge by arguing that the officers were using excessive force to detain him.
I didn't figure out, do you have any of this information? Could you pull that up?
I have it.
Harbin will?
Because he did the report.
Hey, he didn't have his wallet on him. I have no idea who this guy is.
Maybe he'll tell you if not, he's John Joe.
We're going to take you to Erlanger.
For what? No, I have a kid, buddy.
Mama's coming to take him.
Why you taking me to Erlanger?
Because you got tased.
Is this what you taking me to jail?
Yep.
For what?
Disorderly and resisting.
I didn't resist arrest. Man, I came outside to check my mail. I had nothing to do with what was going on over there. How the hell I go to jail but jump outside to check my mail? Are you serious?
I'm serious.
For real?
Has a heart attack.
You don't care about
This
nothing
cop,
personal.
bro, I'm sorry. This cop is a bitch, bro. I ain't gonna even lie. I can't stand his punk ass, bro. He's a bitch. I'm glad they got sued, and I'm glad this dude won that $3 million because this cop is a bitch, and I'll say that shit again.
Trying to save your because you had no reason to even talk to me. You weren't called to my address. You had no right to stop or detain me. What law was I breaking? What nothing. You did not give me any statute code in my Fourth Amendment right to tell me why you were stopping me. I mean, go on, bro. Well, take me to jail.
That's funny.
I will.
Make sure you come to court.
I will. He's pissed, too. Come on.
Is it safe to come out? I don't want to get assaulted again. I'm going to get my mail. Right. Go to jail for getting your mail.
After his arrest, Mr. Carter was charged with disorderly conduct and resisting arrest, but on November 2nd, 2018, both charges were dismissed. A complaint was filed with the Chattanooga Police Department, and the internal affairs investigation found that Officer Thomas had used force outside of the department's standard guidelines, submitted official reports that contained false and misleading information, showed willful indifference to complaints of a prisoner, and displayed behavior and used language during his interaction with citizens that that was unnecessary and unprofessional. As a result of these violations, Officer Thomas received an 80-hour suspension in November of 2018 and then returned to the force. On April 2nd, 2019, Mr. Carter filed a lawsuit in the Circuit Court for Hamilton County, Tennessee, which was later removed to federal court. The complaint asserted claims including excessive force, malicious prosecution, false arrest, assault, and battery, and requested $1 million in compensatory damages and $2 million in punitive damages. On November 19th, 2019, the case was dismissed after the claims were settled for an undisclosed amount. Overall, Officer Thomas gets an F for unreasonably deploying a taser on Mr. Carter in likely violation of department policy, maintaining an aggressive and belligerent demeanor throughout the encounter, and misrepresenting essential details regarding the incident, such as claiming that Mr. Carter was in the middle of the road when he was clearly at his mailbox when the body camera footage began. Although Officer Thomas claimed to believe that Mr. Carter was the suspect reported in the 911 call, I find this contention dubious, particularly given that Mr. Carter was wearing a purple shirt rather than a green one, and both Mr. Carter and the victim informed Officer Thomas that Mr. Carter was not the perpetrator. Rather, it seems more likely that Officer Thomas reacted to perceived disrespect from Mr. Carter, as evidenced by the fact that he told Mr. Carter, and I'm quoting, "You're now part of this," after he made comments that Officer Thomas did not seem to appreciate.
I forgot about that part. You are now a part of this. How you gonna throw him in there when he ain't had nothing to do with it? That's crazy.
The truly unhinged behavior exhibited by Officer Thomas during this encounter demonstrated a propensity for both violence and dishonesty, and I seriously question whether a 2-week suspension was sufficient to address these underlying issues. Mr. Carter gets an A- because although he was somewhat verbally combative in his comments towards Officer Thomas and ignored some of his commands, he did not appear to violate Tennessee law at any time during the encounter and took appropriate legal action by filing a lawsuit after the encounter. As we discussed in this episode, Mr. Carter likely did not commit any crimes in the course of the interaction, even when he failed to comply with Officer Thomas's commands and entered his home. However, it is important for viewers to note that disobeying officer orders in situations like this may be considered resisting or obstructing in states that do not recognize the right of citizens to resist unlawful orders and do not require the use of force to sustain a resisting conviction. That being said, Officer Thomas's use of a taser against Mr. Carter was clearly unjustified, particularly given the legality of Mr. Carter's actions in Tennessee, and I commend Mr. Carter for pursuing accountability against Officer Thomas for this violation. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget.
Great video. Great video. I like that video a lot. And shout out to I can't remember his name, but I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna get his name and I'm gonna shout him out in the comments, in this description or whatever, because this is a great video, and I'm glad that he won this. So wait, hold on, let me see something though. Yeah, $3 million lawsuit. So yeah, I think he won it. I think they said he won it if I'm mistaken. But anyway, that's still a great video. I like that. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that just for my pleasure, because I like that one. But anyways, I appreciate you for suggesting that video. I greatly appreciate you, and appreciate everybody. And I'm up out of here. I got a couple things to do today, but y'all check the video out. Let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe on it, all that good stuff. And I'm gonna holler at y'all. I'm out.